Welcome back to the Tidy AMK. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the Yolopark AMK Pro Bumblebee version Soundwave, which you build it. It's a kit. It does not transform. It's got a lot of die-cast in it versus some of the other ones. But I have to say that it is a bit stylized because it's based on a live-action movie. It does look great. There's a lot to it. The build took me longer than I thought it would, but I'm going to have a link down below where you can get this at Show Z Store, and I'm going to show you everything I like about it, a couple things that I think are a little annoying, but at the end of the day, it's a pretty good release if you like the design. And with that, let's take a look at this Soundwave from Yolopark AMK Pro Series coming up. Alright, so here's the box. This is the slip cover for whatever reason. And shows the slipcover is better than the box, and then the box just shows the Decepticon symbol and some Soundwave, not much more. As per the usual of what they've been doing, so you get basically the skeleton in here. I think this is upside down, so you get the skeleton, then next you get the armor to go on the skeleton, then you get some more finishing touches of armor, and Ravage. And all it's got to get built, so they can say it's a model kit. So I'm not going to so much build this as just kind of give you an idea of how it's going. How's it going here? Pop the head on, put this midsection in place, then this had to get a little reoriented just so the stuff worked to fit. And then you're going to build, let's go ahead and build the legs and foot right now. So we get that done. So that's how you build the leg. And plug. Maybe I should wait and put the torso on after I get the legs in place, so I don't bump them off. It's always smart to build the legs first. Now I'm starting to wonder how much I got on camera. It's just not going to be a long build, so not too worried about that. That's not super tight. There, that's tighter. And then I think we stick the little crotch piece in here. Then shoulder. So this part's going to go into the side. This plugs into here. Just simple enough stuff to get this done. And then you just go through and you add all the armor to it, which I'm going to do all the rest of this off camera, just giving you an idea of how this goes. This is probably this would double the length of the video if I just did the whole build on here. All right, so here it is all completed up with the full build of it. I will say this, it looks fantastic. I am not a huge fan of, say, the Bayverse designs. I love the G1. This is a nice enough mix for me, and it feels good, but yeah, let's get into this. The thing I feel a lot about the instructions here is that it makes it look like this is one separate floating piece, that's one separate floating piece, and it doesn't really show you that this right here is two separate pieces that clip together, and for whatever reason it has to do that, but that's weird. And then I pushed the glass piece in on this. I need to get the glass piece out so we can put Ravage in there if we want to. All right, let's take a good look at this guy. He is looking pretty good overall. Now, a few things about him. He does have quite a bit of detail, lots of detail in this figure. Doesn't have to transform. No, that's not dust. You know, you're gonna be like, Mike, when are you gonna dust your figures? It's brand new. It is kind of a brown and a battle damage wash to it. So that's what's going on there. And there's the head, the shoulder pads. He's a dude from the 80s with shoulder pads, some good ones. Giant beefy thighs. What's going on there? Lots of detail and paint in this area here. Since you don't have to worry about a transformation, just making the detail is what they did, and they did it well. So pretty good overall. Lots and lots of little details. I don't know if I can put it all out. I do like his red wristband. Maybe I need to tighten that up so it looks like a wristband and not a gap in there. but that works. Then getting down here, all the little detail and all the little pieces you have to put on it. Some of the stuff is die cast. At this point, when I was putting it on, I was like, oh, that's die cast, that's die cast. Now I'm just trying to find it. Where is the die cast? But you could feel it a lot more when you're putting it all on. I think the elbow, or whatever this is die cast. There's a lot of strange choices, like why is die cast here, but why is die cast not there, and that kind of stuff. But it's got some butt flaps for the articulation and front flaps for articulation. So still pretty cool looking. Even if you like the classic design, then you're probably gonna like this. But if you like the Bavers, I don't know where those people stand. But yeah, it doesn't transform, but it looks good. Let's get into Ravage. Here's Ravage, and this is really the selling point for me to buy this. I was like on the fence on getting this, but a different Ravage and it's big. It's a good size Ravage. I like a good size Ravage. I don't like tiny little ones. I know he's supposed to be a cassette, and then like here's his cassette form, but I don't think they've treated it like a cassette. It's more just he tucks away in the chest. So this is die cast metal. I think that one is too, but that one has a piece of like clear plastic over it, so it looks like a cassette. That one felt more like you should put it in there. What does Ravage do? So we're not going to talk about him too much, even though he's my highlight of this. His mouth opens, and I think I know his lower jaw, I thought his upper jaw moved a little bit, but I guess just his lower jaw, and his head is on a ball joint. Got some movement in front, a little bit out and in, and then front and back. You got movement in the foot and in right there. 1, 2, 3 points of articulation on the rear, and a little more hindered because of this design of the rear. But you have to have it hindered if he is an actual animal. But Ravage is the standout of the set for me personally, but I still think Soundwave's cool. Now for some articulation on this guy. Of course, the head's on that good old notorious ball joint, which is what it was. And then you got about to the 90. You can do a 360. You can do a bicep swivel. And that's as far as your elbow is going to get. Not even to a 45. One thing I like about this, he does have some good articulation in his hands. He has trigger finger and all that kind of stuff. And you got some in and out. That's kind of ball jointed. And then waist swivel and waist swivel, torso swivel. This piece, I mean, it's in there good now, but it kept popping off on me for a while. Just the peg that goes into the top. That extra articulation, I'm not, well, first of all, it doesn't give you a whole lot more, but second of all, to me it's a pain. But now with these, this is a pain here with articulation also. So going forward is a bit of a challenge. You will drop it down on the drop down to get more out of it, but then does that break the sculpt? Possibly, but it's all there. The engineering and the tech's all there, so then you can get all the way to the back. You can gleefully hop and all that kind of stuff. Then you can get it almost, yeah, all the way to the 90 on the side. Some of this stuff does move a little bit. Then we can get it back up. Then we have the knee is a double jointed, feels double jointed. It gets you quite the range, and all these different pieces that are connected to it spread out, and then they go back into place. So that's the kind of stuff I do like, that touch. Then you do have the thigh swivel, and you have toe tilt in the toe, and then you have pretty much everything you need with the foot and a rocker both ways. Goes both ways. The toe tilt's not massive, so it's not like you're going to get a super running pose out of it, but everything you need, and he is pretty stable as long as this piece here stays intact, which I guess I just wasn't giving enough pressure or force when it's worked its way in there. Let's get into his other hands. He's got a fist for fisting. So I'm showing you one of each. It's for each side. He's got a splayed hand if you just want it splayed, which this one will not quite splay the same way. So that will give you a better look. Then he's got this. I don't really know what. It's not a peace symbol. I'm wondering, what is this? Oh, they give you these ball joint adapters. So I guess that's what goes on here for this. And I'm trying to figure out what exactly he's gonna do with 2 fingers. I'm not really sure. But he is a baby daddy. Probably got multiple baby mamas. That hand is for you to salute. Your supreme leader. Ha ha ha. So there's a comparison. This is the most recent one that I've gotten for the Rise of the Beast. I kind of feel like Rise of the Beast and Bumblebee feel like they're from the same universe, closer than G1 to them. And so to me, an evolutionary step between G1 and like Bayverse, this is kind of like it goes from here to that, even though it went from this all the way to Bayverse and then back to kind of in the middle. But they do sort of scale together well. Rise of the Beast is taller for whatever reason. And with that, Soundwave fits in well with the AMK Pro Megatron. But these are all AMK Pros. And with that, that's how they scale. In case you're wondering, no, it does not fit in with Masterpiece, but still a good looking bot overall. And next to the Hasbro mainline, there's a lot of glare. The most recent mold, for the most part, Netflix, which is now, 4 years old? Something like that. But now they're coming out with a new one. Not sure how well that will stack up with this, but that's just side by side. For those of you who know scale and just want to see, will this fit with your Hasbro? No. Alright, so just be honest, how often do you really take the time to look at your Ravage shelf? So I'm going to do some Ravage comparisons here so you can get an idea of size, scale, and just, it's been a while since I've pulled these all off, and I want to remember what I got going on here. So here's Ravage. Next to, we'll start with the very beginning. That's G1. So that's the size of the G1. Then they KO'd and oversized the G1, but no articulation in the feet, so we can't really stand. Well, the first one really didn't stand very well either. We got the Masterpiece here, which looks like he's anorexic. He's been underfed. Shame on you, Soundwave. Then, I don't know what this is, but it's Animaniacs or something. I thought it was Beast Wars or something. Anyway, I put it on the Ravage shelf. Anyway, then we got classics over here. The 2000s era. Came with Hound. And then we've got Fans Toys, which I think I got the feet wrong on it. People give Fans Toys a lot of crud for this because it's got a wide open back. Still, I'm okay with it. Like it. I'm not sure how well the camera's picking all this up, by the way. Then we got the classic hard drives that were floating around, and I think I have the original series on there just for fun. That's a quirk. Fun, quirky stuff. Then we got this that turns into, I don't even remember how it does it, but it turns into like a round ball, sort of. Like it's just like a semicircle disc. It's the disc of the disc era. Then we got like this is probably the closest to this one is the live action movie, which I don't remember which movie it was. No, not Rise of the Beast. Anyway, that one, I've got like 3 different versions of that. Then we have whatever this one goes with, I'm not sure. I don't think it transforms. And then I think this one's Magic Square. Magic Square, I did not get the New Age. Now I wish I did. But size, scale, comparison, where we come from, and where we are now. Alright, so what do I think about this AMK Pro Yolopark with diecast, Soundwave, and Ravage? It's stylized because it matches the material like it's supposed to. You got to build it. It's going to take you some time. At the end of the day, it looks really good. Everything seems to work the way it should, and nothing broke. So, I mean, that's good. I think it looks great, even though I'm not a huge fan of the stylized stuff or not really a big fan of the live-action movies at all. But I always had this kind of feeling that the Bumblebee, I'd be picking up several of these designs, and I do believe it's not hindered at all. So it can maximize the aesthetic and look the best because it doesn't have to transform. So I will probably just go with any of my movie stuff, just go with this for the most part. There's a couple one-offs here and there, but I do like it. So I'm glad I picked it up. It is $85. More expensive because there's more diecast and much higher part count than some of the other ones that they've had out here, which You know, we could argue doesn't really need that many parts, but they chose to. The Ravage is awesome. It looks cool. Yes, it is stylized. It is not exactly a G1 Ravage, but I appreciate Ravage. Even the Ravages that aren't matching the G1, I like them too. So I've got my Ravages. You saw my Ravage collection. You see where I'm coming from. But let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I did get this shows you have a link down below where you can get yours. TH and support the reviewer. Like and subscribe. And Tadira Hammer out. Come on, Ravages. We got to go back on the shelf. Come on. We can do it.